What happens to Cytonn? What happens to Cytonn is it's not about public or private. Can I explain that?
Sure.
What happens to Cytonn is not the issue whether they are doing a private or public. We did an inquiry on Cytonn, and we said that business, that whole activity they are doing, it mimics or it resembles fund management. That means what Cytonn does is this. They have an entity which does real estate, to develop real estate. Then they have another entity here which collects money from the public. This money is being used to fund that other entity which does real estate. Okay? This money which comes from the investors is short-term money because they said 6 months, 1 year, yeah? But the real estate is long-term, okay? So this money cannot finance this thing is long-term. If people want their money, where do you get the money?
Yeah, there's a mismatch.
There's a mismatch. So how do they pay these people back? And that is where now the concept of it mimics a Ponzi scheme comes in. They pay these people by other people coming in. So they exit people by other people coming in. That's the only liquidity. Two is this real estate, for example, they pre-sell. You know, you can sell off. It's called off before off plan. So they get liquidity from that and also pay. But a lot of liquidity is if no more people come to invest with them, then these people who are short term, they can't exit. They have to wait for this real estate to be completed. So the Ponzi scheme, I'm not saying it's a Ponzi scheme, is where you can only exit a short-term investor through another person coming in. Okay? Yeah. So we said that whole activity of taking money from the public, and then you take that money from the public and invest. That's a fund managed. That entity resembles a collective investment scheme. In law, our collective investment scheme is a scheme which pulls money from the public. Yes. Whether private or public, it doesn't matter. You pull money from the public. Then that money in a collective investment scheme, they don't invest themselves. There's another fund manager who takes that money and invests for the benefit of those people in the collective investments. So the whole ecosystem of what Cytonn do, we told them that this resembles a capital market regulated activity where you, Cytonn Investment, you're a fund manager. Cytonn High Yield Solution is a collective investment scheme which pulls money from the public. Then the fund manager takes that money and invests it in the Cytonn real estate. You get? So that was our finding. They challenged it, but they agreed. They said, okay, if that is the story, then we are willing to be regulated. Okay, so how do we regulate? Now, this let me start first of all. Before it was called CMA CHYS, it used to be called CMS, Cash Management Solution. Okay. So at Cash Management Solution, the product was resembling a banking product, not even a capital market product, because the Cash Management Solution was done by Cytonn then, plus our regulated entities.
Yes, there were other entities that
regulated entities
that
were
doing
a
the cash
product
management.
called cash management.
Yes.
CBK said this product resembles a banking product.
Okay.
So if something resembles a banking product, we told our regulated entities, don't do it. If you want to do it, you have to get
a license,
an approval from Central Bank. So that product ceased. Now we have this unregulated entity out there called Cytonn, also doing cash management. You see, people now are saying, you told us to stop. Yeah, because Central Bank said it is a banking product. Why is that person out there unregulated and also issuing something which is similar to a banking product? So we sat as a financial sector regulators and we said, let CMA take a lead on this. Okay. So we inquired into the matter and we told them, this thing, you have to stop it fast because Central Bank doesn't want the word cash management. It resembles a banking product. So they had to change that name first to High Yield Solution. So we get Central Bank out of it now. So it is with us. Okay? So with us is to convert that cash management, cash high yield solution to a collective investment scheme regulated. All right? For you to convert, it's not an event, it's a process. Okay, it's that thing. You need to have a licensing process put in motion. You need to have someone to be a fund manager. So they applied for a fund manager's license, an entity different from Cytonn Investment.
Okay.
This entity is called Cytonn Asset Manager,
Okay.
which is owned 25% by Cytonn Investment.
25%?
Yes. 75% is owned by other people.
Oh.
But they still use the Cytonn brand.
I see.
Okay. After that, they have the fund manager's license. Now, this fund manager needs to manage the collective investment scheme, which is the CHYS. So you need to develop, to get a product called CHYF. That is where it comes up. When this CHYF is operational, then you take CHYS to CHYF. You get where
I've understood. But the CHYS
Yes.
continued to exist.
It continues to exist. So what we should be asking us, what risk management measures we took. One, we always tell people, we caution them that there is regulated and unregulated.
Okay.
The regulated is this, the unregulated is this.
Okay.
That is one thing, yeah? Because that is our regulatory approach.
Yeah.
How to deal with unregulated. Okay. The first thing is to give people opportunity to get regularized. All right? Because, you know, we cannot stop innovation. We want people to be adventurous. And if your innovation pushes the boundaries of law, we cannot just tell you, shut you down or shut you. We want an innovative country. We will tell you, one, do you want to come into regulation? If you fit. If you don't fit, we can even develop regulation for you. For example, online Forex. Online Forex, there was no regulation. But we saw people are getting affected. We developed regulation for online Forex trading in 2017, I suppose. But before, there was nothing. So it was a product there which is not regulated. So you can either come into the existing regulated space, or we can develop a regulation to suit you if in the interest of the public. Or if the idea is still young, we can even put you under sandbox mechanism where we allow you to do your innovation under limited scale, where there's relaxed regulation. Once everything is okay, then you're allowed to go to the market in a mass scale. So that is our approach. If you don't cooperate, then you will see us issuing deceased and deceased. We'll see us cautioning investors. We'll file a complaint, a criminal complaint with our police. You'll see police coming to you, and you know it is disruptive to your activity. But if you cooperate, we allow you to regularize.
Okay.
So we allowed, they were cooperative at that time, and they allowed us, we develop a transition framework where we are supposed to convert. But you have a good question is, as you convert, this CHYS is still continuing.
Yeah.
So what measures did we put in place? First, I told you that something which is not regulated needs to be subjected to private enforcement. So if you look at that form of CHYS, and I will show you, first, we are saying if you are regulated, if there's an issue, there must be a dispute resolution mechanism, right? You'll come to CMA. What if something happens? What happens to the investor?
Yeah.
The contract, the agreement, the one people sign,
Okay.
it is very clear that if there is a dispute, you will take it to an arbitrator. Agreed arbitrator between the
two
investor
parties.
and Cytonn. Two, we told Cytonn, what are the remedies, the indemnity these people needs to have? One of the conditions there is that that offer is guaranteed. CHYS is guaranteed by Cytonn Investment. And I will show you that clause. There is an indemnity clause there. So those people are, whatever they put there is indemnified and guaranteed by Cytonn Investment. Not CHYS. You cannot tell people CHYS is not performing. Yes, it's not performing, but this CHYS is guaranteed by Cytonn Investment, which is a different entity. So it is there. So it's a contractual breach if they don't guarantee. 3, we asked them, this investment needs to be, if you're still going on, because you cannot stop it. If you stop it, it will be disruptive. It's an ongoing project. So it has, stakeholders have obligation. There's a contractor needs to be paid. There are employees, there are investors who are waiting for money. So if you disrupt at that juncture on a person who is willing to be licensed, we will be seeing that the regulator is not wise. Yeah. So the wisdom then is we convert it, but you put controls on what you are doing. So if you look at that form, it says the person who needs to invest in that CHYS needs to be sufficiently knowledgeable about the risk and the merit of the, and we have even prescribed, someone must have a degree, must have 3 years experience in real estate.
Okay.
I'll give you the form.
Yeah.
I will show you. I think it's good to, if you can show your viewers
I would love to look at
the form,
Yeah.
to show that this is what the regulator insisted on them to do while we are converting. Okay. And we had a 1.5 year transition framework. But after that 1.5 year, they were still not converting. Yeah, so we lost trust. And we said, you're changing goalposts. They are giving reasons why not to convert. I don't know, the clients, they don't want to come to the regulated space because the yield will reduce. You know, in a regulated place, we cannot allow you to over-concentrate on one asset. You have to diversify. So the risk cannot, the return has to come down because it's diversified. They're saying people just want our return. You know, many other reasons. So we said enough is enough. And we filed a criminal complaint with the criminal authorities. They have finalized their investigation. The file is with the Director of Public Prosecution for doing that regulated activity without our license and obtaining money by false pretense. If they got any person there who is Wanjiku ought not to have invested in CHYS because you must have a degree, experience, 3 years experience, and all the other conditions were put there in the CHYS.
Wow. Thank you for that background. I think it's very helpful to just hear the background about what actually happened, as opposed to seeing what's been happening in the press with lots of complaints and, different people on social media coming out and just saying, I can't get my money back and all these different things. And we've been wondering, where is the CMA in all of this? So I think it's thank you. Thank you for that background.
And just to say, the confusion, it is not from time immemorial. The CHYF was operationalized in September 2019. Okay, so the only time these two products were running parallel was from September 2019 to March 2020. Because in March 2020, there was COVID and Cytonn started defaulting. It didn't start to default today. It defaulted from 2020 March. We took all the complaints which we received, we forwarded to them and copied the courts because we are having other issues in the regulated business. And I'm sure you're aware why is CMA attaching complaints for unregulated business in court. It was there. We said that these guys in the unregulated space have the following issue. March 2020. So the only time these products were running parallel was from September 2019 to March 2012 when Cytonn started defaulting. Okay. And during that time, the collection of money on CHYS was subject to those conditions. The CMA was always cautioning investors that this thing is unregulated.
Yeah.